Hey, what is up? It's Blake here in my warehouse going through pallets and pallets of used books for sale on Amazon. This is a series of videos, this being the first video in that series, called Buy Used Books! It's right there on the screen. This first video is about where to buy used books online. I'm not sure how I'm going to delineate this series because there's several steps of selling used books, of obtaining them, of tracking your profits, etc., etc. So I'm not exactly sure how I will divvy it up, but this video is about where you can buy used books online specifically, and not just one book at a time on eBay or whatever, because duh. But bulk used books, I'm talking like Gaylords. So pallets, so these. I've got 7 in the warehouse right now. I buy from a private broker. I'm not going to say who it is, but I've bought from these people as well. The reason I buy from this guy is because it's just easy. I know him. But these 5 companies are ones who, again, you always want to do your own research and, check and call and ask. But I have contacted the people where there is someone to contact and talk to them and see what their procedure is and how they obtain books, because you don't want to buy someone's rejects, their FBA rejects. You want to buy from someone who is in the business of wholesaling pallets of books, 2, 5, 10 at a time. And so one of the quick tips is you're only going to want to buy from someone if they are a wholesale entity who has, at least 2 or 3 pallets. You want them to be unchecked. If you can see the pallet, make sure that there's no cuts in the side of the pallet and it's taped up, because those cuts would mean that someone has rifled through them and picked out the winners. So we want unsorted books, and they'll come from a bunch of places. We'll see as we get into these, and here, there's 5 options here. And again, as we go through them, I'll explain to you how I believe they get their books based on emails, and reading the websites as they be. The first one is publicsurplus.com. Duh. This is a great website for reselling anything. You can even see it right here. This is, I've already clicked on it. It's 10 pallets of assorted library books from Virginia. 10 pallets. That is probably around 8 to 10,000 books for $26. And it ends in 6 hours. I almost feel bad. By the time I post this, it will already be sold. And someone who probably with it's kind of iffy because you have to arrange for pickup yourself, and most of these sellers, like a library or a public school or whatever, they're not set up for like freight loading or unloading, loading in this instance. So you might have to fly out there yourself and facilitate it into like the back of a U-Haul. But I mean, for 26 bucks, let's just look at the pictures. Uh, it's pretty clear they're from a library, if I recall correctly. And you're going to see this might be extended. That means that if someone bids in the past like 30 minutes, or it doesn't hit a certain threshold, um, yeah, 5 minutes if someone bids. So they don't even have a reserve on here. It's just if someone bids within 5 minutes. But I mean, I have a hard time believing that this is going to get over 10 cents a book. But then you read here, oh, it's 20 pallets. Wow, I was wrong. 20 pallets. So it's like 16 to 20,000 books. You're going to get about 800 to 1,000 books in a Gaylord or a pallet. I use them, they're synonymous, the way I talk about it, because pallets are what hold the Gaylords of books. Gaylords are giant cardboard boxes. Um, like this is a Gaylord right here. And then as you go, those are not Gaylords. Those are just books. So this might actually not be a good buy. You could look up a few of these titles. Recycle, discards. This might actually even be someone who does FBA prep. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not sure. That right there is a FBA return label, or an FBA label. So, again, with surplusauctions.com, it definitely is. Each independent seller is going to have their own, what's it called? Not everyone's the same, clearly. I can't close this screen, so I guess I'll just close out the box. But there's more, as you can see here, and each is different. You don't necessarily have to be a government agency to sell on publicsurplus.com, which is kind of not necessarily what people are led to believe. You can be a private seller on here. Um, just it's not typically used by private sellers because they're not going to get hardly very much money at all for their books. But if you go on here, publicsurplus.com, auctions and books is down here, you will see tons and tons. And if there are any near you, I'm in Michigan, so I don't see any in Michigan, so I wouldn't probably buy any of these. But if you're in Minnesota or Arizona or Pennsylvania, it'd be a good place for you to buy some cheap books to go through. Cheap books. The next, this is not an auction. It's Two Swell Guys. It's a website. I have talked to them. They sell unsearched and unpicked pallets for Amazon sellers. I believe that mostly it's Amazon returns as well. And what they have is kind of interesting. It's 2 years, well, a year and a half old, the image here. And they're selling a lot of books, right? But you look over here and 550 sales order per item. That's really bad. So that leads me to believe even more so that these are Amazon returns, because if you just sell all your Amazon returns for books and you're not really being cognizant of their value, you're just listing and trying to get through as many as possible, that's the number you're going to come out with most likely, based on just like the pallets I've bought. My rule of thumb is I don't sell it unless it's going to make me at least $9 on Amazon FBA for these bulk pallets. And again, I'm not paying, you know, you don't want to pay more than $200 a pallet. I paid up to $400 for pallets of books, but they were from people that I knew, and I had an idea that it would be more textbooks than like fiction books. But I mean, I wouldn't recommend paying more than $200 for a pallet of books. And I also wouldn't recommend buying from anybody who would sell you one pallet at a time. These guys do minimum four. Um, you know, again, you're going to be paying around 50 to 150 bucks per pallet to ship it to you, depending on how many you buy. I mean, if you have a whole truckload and you're only going like 500 miles, it'll be around 25 bucks per pallet, because these are very, very heavy pallets. But if you want to send 4 pallets to your garage and it's, you know, a 1,000-mile trip, you're looking at around $300 to $500 for that. And then the company I use is freightquote.com. They are a freight broker. It isn't the best price, but it's the easiest price. And so twoswellguys.com/wholesale. Yeah, 800 to 1,100 books in a pallet. I guess they actually schedule this freight, and they're able to sell, wow, 100, 200 a month. This all leads me to believe that there are a lot of Amazon returns in here. I don't see any Amazon return labels on the back of it. They're those long rectangular over the barcode, the books. So this could even be a combination of library sales and Amazon returns. You know, we don't actually know. It's the kind of thing where you have to buy and test. And I think for a lot of people looking to buy wholesale books, 4 pallets, you know, shipped to you, it's going to be around 1,300 bucks, 1,000 to 1,300 bucks. And you could hopefully, you know, if it's a good, like the pallets I buy from who I buy from, I can generally get around $4,000 profit over 6 months on those. And so it's not all at once. You get about half the profit in the first month, and then over the next 5 months, the other half the profit. And then what I have for my business, at 6 months, it gets destroyed or returned to me depending on the value. But again, when you're paying this much, really what it comes down to is to have an efficient process for listing, prepping, whatever the books. I'm going to have that in a different video later. But Two Swell Guys, I haven't talked to them in about a year, so I can't say for sure what's going on with their company and their business. But from what I recall, they were very, very straightforward and very honest guys from the email conversations. And I don't think this price is very, very bad at all. I mean, it's a lot of work. If these are Amazon return books, to remove that many labels is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's definitely a way to make money. The next is cleanerearthbooks.com/wholesale. These are great. This is a great company you're going to want to buy truckloads from, because they have got just a phenomenal amount of inventory. And they also sell media as well. And one of the sellers we're going to see later on specializes in VHS tapes too. So you're going to see down here, I'll show you the top of the screen, Cleaner Earth Books is in Georgia. Again, I've only contacted via email. They have a new shop button I haven't seen. I haven't been shopping for bulk books for about 8 months. Um, a little shorter than that. I kind of got into VCRs for a while and neglected books, but now I'm getting back into it. I guess you can buy individual books as well. That makes me a little less trustworthy of the website because you have to take it off their word basically that they're not picking through them. What it comes down to is your best bet to understand if a seller is trustworthy is you gotta take a risk and buy 5, 10 Gaylords from them and put down that two, three, four, $5,000. You gotta spend money to make money. You gotta test the waters with these sellers, and you don't want to believe that everyone's out to screw you over, but by the same token, you can't trust everyone. I mean, you have to have a good mixture of can I trust this person and what's my due diligence. CleanerEarthBooks.com. I think you can only pay through PayPal with them. I'm not sure. I believe so though, which kind of sucks because then they charge like 3% extra. It's like, oh, this is our fee plus the credit card fee. Maybe it's gone now. I'm not sure. Again, these are all things you can find out by talking to them. This is a large company though. This next one I have never bought from them. ZubaalBooks.com. I've seen the name quite a bit. It just looks a little. It's because they have these giant columns right here. It's a very like early 2000s website, and I don't really trust it that much. They've got relatively okay prices, a little high, 350 for a pallet. FOB means freight on board. It means they don't pay for shipping. It means you pay for shipping. FOB from Cleveland. So for me, this would be cheap. I'd probably get if I bought a truckload. I'd be getting them for around $300 a book, or sorry, $300 a pallet shipped for a full truckload. But I don't think I would do that. Again, it's a little pricier. Uh, if you're close to Cleveland, this could be a great deal for you if it ends up being cheaper than buying from a company in Atlanta, Georgia, for example. But I really kind of saved the best for last, and I think that this last one might be who I would recommend that everyone at least test the water with. ZubaalBooks.com/buy dash books dash sorry dash bulk dash books dot JSP. It's just an old website. I don't know. I mean, if you've used them and they're great, please let me know. But this would rank last on the gut feeling. I've never even bought from them. I've bought on Public Surplus. I've talked to two swell guys. I don't think I bought from Cleaner Earth Books. I don't remember. I might have. I might have bought 5 Gaylords of I think I did of hardback nonfiction at the time when they were doing that, and it wasn't anything bad or good. I think I made it was like 3 grand a pallet, I believe. And this was a year and a half ago, so it was quite some time ago. And I kind of fell out of it and got back into it. This last one I bought from these guys, usedwholesalebooks.com. This is who I've bought from recently, not who I buy from currently, but if my warehouse gets larger and I gain more employees, this is who I would buy from. Because they are doing a huge amount of inventory. They are usedwholesalebooks.com is a subsidiary of thriftbooks.com, and they sell an absolute shit ton of books on Amazon, both FBA and merchant fulfilled. They're just doing a huge amount. They've got to be selling, probably. I wouldn't even guess. I mean, it's in the tens of millions of dollars a year, in that kind of stuff. So, this is who I'd say you should go to. Do I recommend buying a truckload off the bat without testing it? No, of course not. That would be crazy, right? But what you always, you're always going to want to test them yourself. But would I say if you've got 5 grand, would this be a bad experiment? No. Also no. What it comes down to is you have to take care of your business and you have to take risks and you have to be accountable and responsible for those risks. But these five outlets, if I had to rank them in order of who I would go to first, I would say probably Cleaner Earth Books, buy a small pallet. Once that provides profit, buy a small load, like 4 or 5 pallets or whatever the minimum is. Then buy 10 Gaylords, 10 pallets from Used Wholesale Books, all the while checking out book or public surplus books, because those I think are your best bets. This for some, obviously the potential phenomenal deals. This to get your feet wet, and then this to really scale your business. Zubal Books and Two Swell Guys, if you're close to them, and it's kind of like if you're in Western Pennsylvania, where there's not a lot of places around you, you're like northern, like Erie, Pennsylvania, that might be a really, really good bar for you, whereas like wholesale books or wholesale used books would not be. Again, your mileage will vary with all these. I just hope that I can introduce you to a few really useful wholesale used book brokers, and then as this series progresses, show you how to list and prep them, how to price them, how to keep track of your pricing, what to look out for, and the kind of actions you're going to want to take, not now, but 1, 6, 2 years down the line, or whatever, 1 month, 6 months, 2 years down the line. Hope you appreciate it. If you like that kind of content, I encourage you to like this video and subscribe. See you guys later.